Welcome, my name is David Pinto, I'm co-founder of Scale. Currently writing a book called Fulcrum, and it's to do with world change. Okay, and the basic principles Aristotle came up with. Oh wait, was it Aristotle? Okay, came up with. God, I can't even know if it's Aristotle. Okay, it's Archimedes. Okay, so Archimedes came up with this idea of the fulcrum. Basically, if you have a long enough lever, you can move the world. Okay, and a place to stand, you can move the world. And so I'm producing a book that potentially is the fulcrum around which we change the course of the history, the future and the history of the world, the history and the future of the world. Okay, because we're talking about a fulcrum which is about 20 years long, that's the temporal fulcrum, and the period of time that you take in reading the book, that's your own experience, that's your fulcrum. And within that, there's a kind of psychosocial dynamic, and that's the fulcrum. Okay, so it's quite an interesting psychosocial dimensionality to this book. Okay, it brings together all the different system changes that I'm interested in. Anyway, so this page is for all the different attempts that are being made to get Scale to go viral using open business protocols. So we're using the Scale app to share stuff and to track value. And we've got open business practices for meetings online, for action cycles and all this, that, and the next thing. And all of that's combined in this book called Fulcrum. And the pages below are for individual attempts for pages that when you go onto them and you share it forwards, you get that card, or if you already have that card, you share it forwards. So the attempt is to get a viral with any of these bits of content. Now there's a one share viral page. It's kind of like a sales page in the current traditional economy, but it's a share page. So by hitting that, you like the content, you share it forwards, somebody else looks at it and they go, oh, this is interesting, I share it forwards, it goes viral. And so one page, okay, it's quite long, and there might be shorter ones. And if you can come up with something better, then please do. In fact, one of them has a £10,000 reward. Okay, so check that one out if you're interested. I've also played around with the idea of content creation. So this Dawn Hartsfeld Welcome to Tomorrow videos I just saw today. So I've created a page for that, and I will create pages for individual content with the hope that people share it forwards and potentially the content creator eventually finds it, and then they replace my introductory video like this with their own. Okay. There's also, I've thought of this, but I haven't done it, a content creator page. So I'm going to put all the content that I'm interested in, and it's my content creator page, and so people share that forwards. So for music and videos and articles and books and so on and so forth, all in one page. So I thought that was quite a nice idea. Check that out for mine. I'm calling myself Blood Dragon Tree, which is a new kind of phase in my life, I guess. Strategos. So that's different systems. So we're talking about different networks of people. So it occurs to me that I think that Scale may only take off in any kind of real world network of business, open business practices, through women. Okay, and I've produced a video on that. However, it could also be that there's networks of kids or adolescents, Greta Thunberg might be part of that, although she might be too old now. And so you get different groups, and you get, for example, the what's it called, the Blue Rinse Brigade. We'll talk about elders, and the elders all aggregate as a kind of network because they have, so the youth have energy, the old people have basically money and ownership of content. The idea of the ownership of content being a network. So, for example, I just watched a video the other day. This should be in this kind of video, you'll see. But I watched this video the other day, and it was an article, and it was about investment. And some investment company managed to get investment of several hundred million because it's called Cohab, and it's built on this idea, on the prediction that more and more people are wanting to live together in like communities. So instead of just renting a room in a flat, you're renting a room in a condominium of some kind or other where you're all working together and living together, so co-living. But we're talking about expensive rents of over £1,000 per month. Okay, so we're talking about people that are making a moolah, all right? And anyway, so they're buying all these different properties in New York and somewhere in California, in London, and so we've got this network of cohab buildings. It's a bit like WeWork, but in terms of living. And I thought, well, what happens if we actually owned those spaces collectively, rather than a company owning it and then just renting it out to people? Why are the people that are renting out actually paying into owning it? Okay, so we effectively end up owning all of these properties. So that's an example for the older people to maybe do. Okay, so they can actually open their properties to other people, or when they die, they can provide these properties for their children and their children's children, but collectively, that kind of idea. Okay, so and the kids one is different. Obviously, they've got energy, might not have content money, but they have a lot of energy. And women, obviously, some of the dispossessed people in the world who are living in a mainly male-dominated environment world. And then another one to do with indigenous peoples. Okay, so if indigenous peoples all gather together in an economic. All of the point about these networks is that they're using the economic of scale. Okay, and they're using open business practices. But it's the political kind of like network that is that network that manifests. And so there are different opportunities for different networks. So maybe I should stick the word network, strategos, there. And whatever else. So basically all these things, different pages, inviting different people to go, this sounds like a nice idea, and sharing it forward, and thus creating the network, or the content creator is getting revenue, or we're just going viral on Scale itself, or the open business practices. All right, that's good enough for me. I hope you enjoy one or several of these, and if you do, remember, share it forwards. Okay, it's the only way this is going to work. And by listening now, okay, and by acting, we change the world. This is the Fulcrum. Okay, so this is the Fulcrum. Maybe we should say this is the Fulcrum. Okay, or just Earth Fulcrum. I don't know. It's information. Okay, enjoy. Be well. Good luck. My name is David Pinto, co-founder of Scale, creator of EcoSquared, the base operating system, and co-creator with you of the open business practices. Okay, be well.